The idea of getting closer to the customers that you want to iterate in lockstep with with customer insights. And I think in terms of delivering value, uh, it's imperative. A customer-centric mindset, it means putting the customer at the core of every decision, process, and strategy. So instead of just selling a product or we sell a service, the mindset is you're prioritizing delivering value and positive experiences through the customer journey. And another way I've expanded the thinking around getting closer to the customer is, yes, that's an imperative, but even in terms of how we evaluate success, in any strong commercial organization, you have KPIs, growth metrics, things that you're moving toward throughout a fiscal year. And that's important. But I believe a true metric of success is when my customer succeeds. If a customer-centric mindset means I'm delivering value in a way that helps the customer get where they want to go, their success, their objectives, their outcome is a measurement of my success. Every touch point is an opportunity to add value and advance a relationship. And I emphasize the word opportunity. It doesn't mean we're always doing that with a touch point. A touch point can be frustrating. My touch point with US Bank this morning was extremely frustrating. So when you evaluate that, that's why I call those touch points moments of truth. Did you add value? Did you advance? Those are our moments of truth. And we have them every day. The growth strategy is only as strong as your understanding of your customer's market and the customer situation and their why and their pain and you have to assimilate your knowledge into my world to make it valuable to me. And so that requires active and perceptive listening, what the customer cares about and the customer application. And it's not just understanding. Let me be clear about that. That's not enough. It's assimilating knowledge in a way that alters the customer's perspective or expands the customer's thinking or solves the customer's problem or accelerates the opportunity. So it is knowledge transfer. And the more personalized and customized that knowledge is, the more valuable it's going to be to the customer. I think there are a couple of reasons that companies get customer centricity wrong. I think people get obsessed with their solution suite. And as the marketplace, the competitive landscape, and customer needs and situation evolves, we often spend too much time sort of forcing a customer into our way of doing things versus really continuing to iterate the way we do things that best serve the needs of the customer. And you see companies do it all the time. My bank, the airlines. I don't want to be on hold and go through 8 iterations of auto prompts to get to talk to a banker. I just want to talk to my banker. And so we look at things in terms of to some degree, even efficiency and automation. There's so many benefits to that. But at the core of what we're doing is we're delivering value in a way that the customer wants. And we still have to consider our business model and margins and keep those things top of mind. I think that's part of it. Second, so I think perhaps an obsession or overinflation with our solutions portfolio and service model. That's number one. Number two, as I don't think this is true probably in its human nature to some degree, but I really don't think professionally we do a good enough job of listening. And I call it professional listening. And so you need to take the time to deeply understand the customer's perspective. We also need a professional listening approach that involves subjective feedback and focus groups and the ability to adapt and iterate in lockstep with that customer perspective. So it really is the voice of the customer. And I think, this is not a new idea from me, but I've long advocated for a client advisory board. and to really have a cross section and representation of your customer voice that is informing both strategy and commercial go-to-market approaches. Because we talk about, the pace of change is accelerating. It's never been this fast, but it's never going to be this slow again. Well, that's true for our customers. And so this idea of being able to adapt and iterate as their needs evolve, I think is also something that's both challenging today because customer needs are evolving quickly, real time, rapidly, and we have to be adaptive and flexible enough to iterate accordingly. I've long advocated for a client advisory board and to really have a cross section and representation of your customer voice that is informing both strategy and commercial go-to-market approaches. I do a lot of sales kickoff meetings and commercial conferences, and more often, and I think it's wonderful, I'm seeing panels that include a cross representation of customers participate in those meetings. And it's wonderful. Like you would think, how are we going to get together and have a commercial kickoff or a strategy session for 3 days without the voice of the customer? And let's bring them here and let's ask them questions and let's get real-time feedback and let's listen to what's on their heart and mind and really deeply understand what challenges they're navigating. Because we talk about, the pace of change is accelerating. It's never been this fast, but it's never going to be this slow again because customer needs are evolving quickly, real time, rapidly, and we have to be adaptive and flexible enough to iterate accordingly.